right, Abuja, good evening to you and welcome to the Top Gear segment of the Sunny Side Show on Eagles 102.3, your radio experience you can count on. My name is Holy Ray, and of course, you know that Holy Ray has been in the studio with her sister Benedicta Henshaw. But on this one, Benedicta put me on this one all alone, but it's okay. I can handle it. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me on another fresh episode of the Top Gear segment. All right, so today on the Top Gear segment we will be talking about how to clean your fuel tank. Yes, for those of you who don't know that, as frequent and as daily as you use your fuel tank, which is the car fuel tank, there is need for you to clean it once in a while, or once in a year, or once in few years, or however it is, but depending on the description of the person who's taking care of your car, depending on the description of the mechanic. All right, so there is need for you to always clean your fuel tank. So join me as we talk about steps on how to clean your car fuel tank. All right, so today on that one, the first thing I have here is you have to drain the fuel tank into an approved container. Yes, so for you to be able to ascertain how to clean your car, your fuel tank, and all of that. But first, let's talk about how long do you need to use the fuel tank before you clean it up, because cleaning a fuel tank is not something you do as frequent as cleaning the car. So let's take a look at some of those the duration. Let's look at the duration. What do you think is the duration for you to clean your car? So let's look at that. And of course, on the Top Gear segment, I always love to open the phone line so that if you have something to add up to my conversation, you know, something to add up to it. Maybe you are a mechanic, you're a car dealer, you know something about cars, like you have an in-depth knowledge about cars, so that you can just trip in your own thoughts and your conversation. That will also help somebody somewhere, of course, to see how he or she can take care of their car without issue. So it is open right now on 090-907-353-0044 or 090-8766-8888. Let me get your thoughts on how else do you think we can clean our car fuel tank without issues. All right, anyways, that is what we're talking about. But I have this call. I just hope it's for the conversation. Hello. Okay, let me know. Maybe you're a car dealer or you're a mechanic and you know one or two ways on how we can take care of our fuel tank. You just call me on 090-7353-0044 or 090-8766-8888. But while you keep your calls coming through, let me take you on some of those things you need to know, especially for how long, what is the duration for you to use your car, your fuel tank, before cleaning it. So let me see what I have here. How often do you think we can clean our fuel tank? All right, so most vehicle manufacturers recommend a fuel system cleaning about every 15,000 miles. Depends on how often you use the car and all of that. So it is required that you clean your fuel tank after every 15,000 miles. 15,000 miles. So if you know that you've used this car, and this cleaning of fuel tank is different from a regular maintenance. We're not talking about the regular maintenance. The regular maintenance, of course, you know that for some persons, depending on the distance you drove the car, so depending on that, you can have it cleaned. You can service your car 3 months, after some persons 2 months, some persons even 1 month, depending on the distance that you've driven the car so far. But now today we are talking about the duration for using the fuel tank before cleaning the fuel tank. Yeah, and for me and some other persons that might be listening to me this evening, we might not really know that you need to clean your fuel tank. I can't believe I've ever heard that anyway. But yes, it is necessary that you clean your fuel tank after every 15,000 miles. Yes, so now you know that it is good for you to clean your car every 15,000 miles. So let's go back and take a look at those processes, the things and the steps on how to go about cleaning the car. So, one, you have to drain the fuel. You have to drain the fuel tank into an approved container, a clean, dry, water-free container, before you can get access to the to the tank, to an empty tank, to ascertain what dirt is inside, what is inside, or how to go about the cleaning and all of that. And of course, this can only be done by an expert, probably a mechanic, who knows the rightful tools to use, who knows the rightful thing to do, and the right container to turn the fuel that is inside. All right, and then also clean the outside of the tank. In cleaning the fuel tank, no matter how you do it, in some fuel tank, the chairs and the couch is on top of the fuel tank. So there is need for you to always clean the outside of the fuel tank. And then you can now begin to look to the inside of the fuel tank. All right. And then also remove the fuel pump so that you don't get it spoiled, so that you don't spoil the fuel pump. There is need for you to remove the fuel pump while you are trying to drain the oil, the fuel out of the car, out of the tank, to enable you have access to ascertain the depth and the level of the dirt and how to go about the cleaning. So there is need for you to always remove the fuel tank. And like I said, I am talking about how to clean your fuel tank. And that is what I'm talking about today on the Top Gear segment. And of course, if you are listening to me this evening and you have something to add up to what I am talking about, or you are a mechanic, or you are an expert in this field of cars dealing, car repair and all of that, please join the conversation. And of course, like I always said, your thoughts and your opinion would definitely be educated. 8766 8888. Let me get your thoughts addition to what I am sharing with you this evening. All right, also you have, yes, for those who are experts in this field, like the mechanic, they know what to use and how to go about it. It's not like they are cleaning it with water. It is still fuel and some other cleaning items that they will use. For some persons, when you're doing a full tank in a filling station, some filling stations have this fuel tank while you're buying the fuel, so that if there is dirt, that could just help and filter it out and go to the side where you have the part for the nets where the dirt can go through. So some persons do it like that. So there is need for you to clean the tank interior, that's the inside of the tank, before you can now put back your fuel inside. Also, there is need for you to use the right cleaning solution for the inside tank, so that you don't finish cleaning and you pour back your fuel and then you're not getting that sound that you expect to get from your car. Of course, so there is need for you to always use FM Abuja. So we are talking about how to FM Abuja. So we are talking about how to clean your fuel tank. For a lot of you who don't know that there is need for you to, of course, clean your fuel tank every now and then, of course, after every 15,000 miles, there is need for you to clean your fuel tank. It also works in that aspect. So if we're looking at how long should we use injector before we clean it, all right? So now almost most fuel injector cleaners begin working immediately, and it takes about it takes time before the improvement becomes noticeable anyways. But before the cleaners start working effectively, the vehicle should travel several hundred miles and burn a good portion of full tank of fuel. Then you will not know if that cleaning is indeed working or is not working. Now, how do you know if your petrol tank is dirty? A lot of car indeed needs to be cleaned. The fuel tank rather needs to be cleaned. All right, so now, how would you know if your petrol tank is dirty? Petrol tank is the fuel tank I am talking about. So now, number one, there are some signs that you will know that are already the fuel tank. There are some level of contamination going on in there. So frequently, clutch filters or filters needing replacement. Yes, That is some of the signs that you will know that your fuel tank is dirty. So one number one that I have here is that your frequently clutch filters or filters needing replacement. And then of course second, I have dark or hazy coloration. So now your fuel is not longer coming that pure. You won't see the color of the fuel that pure like it's supposed to be. So it's coming hazy and colored. So that is it. So you see that your fuel is dark and then hazy coloration and all of that. And also the debris floating atop the fuel. You see this pattern and need to be clean. All right. And also you're going to see a sludge. It can be either or on top of the fuel or stuck to the sides of the fuel tank. Yes. And then also increase exhaust or smoke. That is how you will know that your fuel tank is dirty. You get to know when your exhaust is pleasurable as it's supposed to be before, because the movements and the synergy between the engine now and the fuel is not well filtered because the tank is dirty. So you see that the exhaust will begin to smoke. You begin to see smoke from the exhaust, and the smoke sometimes can be very, very, very unhealthy for your health. So when you see those signs, just know that your car fuel tank is dirty. Another sign that you will know that your fuel tank is dirty is the corrosion of the fuel injector. Okay, let me take this call. Hello.
Hi, Benedict.
Hello, good evening. This is Holy Ray. Benedicta is in the building, but she left me alone on this one. Hello. To be clean is corrosion of the fuel injectors. Yes. And then also bad odor from the fuel tank. Yes. So when you open your fuel tank, and if you can perceive, you'll see that the odor that is going to come out from the fuel tank is no longer that normal usual odor that is supposed to come from the tank, like the fuel, like it's supposed to be. This time around, it has this unpleasant smell. Yes, really that bad. So you will know that your fuel tank needs to be cleaned. All right. So now, cleaning of the fuel tank, in case you're just joining, this is top gear segment of the Sunnyside Show on Eagles One Tank. And of course, before we did that, we say that how would you know that your fuel tank is dirty? And also, why should you clean your fuel tank? And of course, it is said that depending on the manufacturing of the car, your fuel tank is supposed to be clean at every 15,000 miles drive. You should know that your fuel tank needs to be clean. And then we move ahead to talk about some of the steps that you can take in cleaning your fuel tank, which is drain the fuel tank into an approved container before you clean. Also, clean the outside of the tank, remove the fuel pump, swirl gas tank, clean the tank interior, swirl cleaning solution inside the tank, drain the tank and dry it, and also inspect the tank properly before you get your fuel back inside. And then we also went further to talk about those signs that you will know that your car